Yo, what is up, universe? It's Jerem the Giant, your guide to psychedelics, plant medicines, and all the compounds that are going to assist you on becoming your greatest self. Welcome to my channel. Today, I wanted to talk about this little plant that I haven't heard much of, especially not on YouTube. Probably a good reason, but I've had some very positive effects from it, and it's just fun. And that plant is Datura. So, Datura is this poisonous plant that gives people delirious visions. So, I stayed clear of it for many years until one day, last time I was in Arizona, I was camping in the desert and I saw a little dried up Datura everywhere. And the last week I was there, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna try it. Just cause my personality, you gotta try it. That's just me. So, if I die, at least I died for sacrificing myself for the greatest good of all, So, of course, whenever I do these things, I start off small and I work my way into larger dosages. And first off, I can't recommend that anyone else do this because, first of all, you got to be pretty crazy to do it. Second of all, you have to be crazy to get away with doing it, But that's a different story. So, I started off with consuming it, chewing the leaves until I started feeling the effects. And the first thing I noticed was an incredibly dry mouth. It's a poison, and so that's just the number one thing, the side effect that just makes it so off-putting to the average recreational user. You can't really use it recreationally just because of that side effect. It makes your mouth so dry, like the worst dry mouth I've ever experienced. But other than that, the effects were very dreamy. It's not a psychedelic per se, but I definitely had psychedelic effects from it, psychedelic visions, and it made me feel in an altered headspace for sure. It was nice, and I remember. I think my friend came. He did. But this is the funny part. It's like, yeah, or maybe he didn't come, and I just had a night with myself. But it wasn't stoning, but it was something else. It was something else. I have to describe it. It's like you're on acid, but you're on acid. You're really stoned, except your mouth is really dry, and you haven't slept for like 3 days. So that's the way it feels. It's kind of like, you feel different, you feel some sort of high, but at the same time, it's just like disoriented. So, and it's a delirium, that's what it is. It's a delirium, that's the technical term for it. And, besides that, it kind of just blurred the separation between reality and dream, and the dream world. And so everything was kind of in between. And I remember going to sleep that night and having the most vivid dreams I could ever experience. And I would be in a hallway or in a cave and I would see these hieroglyphics, or I would open a book. Oh yeah, that's what it was. I would open a book. And I started looking at this book, and I was trying to read the pages, but every letter that I read, it kept on switching, and it was so hard to read, and you couldn't do it. But I was literally able to read in a dream, or I thought I was, but I wasn't. And it was just this insanity feeling of me trying to read this book that I couldn't read. And just this feeling of very bizarre. So, out of all the plants, I don't recommend this one to anyone. I've heard smoking it might differ in effects. but I can't see any usages for this plant um, in terms of visions or therapeutic, healing. There's none of that. The only thing it is good for is sleep. It is good for sleep, and they've actually there's pharmaceuticals that are actually they take the alkaloids out, and they can put you to sleep, and that's what Datura was used for in the past, is um, to help one reach more deep, deep levels of sleep. So, other than that, it was a fun experience. I don't recommend it to anyone. Definitely not, unless you're out in the desert by yourself. That's the only time I would use it. There's so many stories of people taking this and then ending up in their neighbor's house doing some weird shit, being naked, and then they wake up with the police like, what happened? And so fortunately I didn't have any negative experience like that, although except for the dry mouth. Of course, I was out in the desert by myself, and so any odd behaviors was between me, myself, and if my friend was actually there, or if that was just a vision. So, super cool plant, super awesome experience. I've heard about people like mixing it with mushrooms, mixing it with different things to potentiate their visions, and that's what the ancient shamans and Native Americans used to do. They'd mix that with like peyote, or it would just be like the next level, or maybe with salvia, and it would just maybe double the psychedelic effects of what other compound they were taking it with. But like I said, not to be recommended. The dream herb, that's what I would call it. It was a fun experience. I hope you got something from this. If you ever take it, be careful. Although the only thing to watch out for is the worst dry mouth that you've ever experienced. So, this is my take on Datura. Oh, by the way, I did the pods. I didn't get too much effect out of the seeds. The most potent form was the flower. So I was picking up the dried flowers, and it seems like the more bitter they are, the more alkaloids, the stronger it is. And so, if you ever do it, the stronger the flowers, the better. And just be careful with that, because each plant is varying in strength, and so that's how you know that's how you know its potency, is how bitter it is. So don't be foolish, but have fun, be safe. Yeah, see you next time.